G'day, it's Ray Salisbury here. We're about to do some wilderness camping up Ben Lomond, but first we've got to get on that gondola. Let's do this. I'm on a mission to climb Ben Lomond, but I'm going to work smarter, not harder. G'day, it's Ray Salisbury here at Queenstown, the tourist hub of New Zealand on New Year's Eve, the last place I want to be. So let's head up the hill and do some wild camping. Well, I made it to the top of the gondola. That's the second time this year. We're about to leave the madding crowds and head up the hill towards Ben Lomond Peak. Let's move. Once past the thin veneer of civilization, I still had to negotiate adrenaline junkie heaven. Right, now we've left the Skyline complex behind, the luge, the gondolas, all the parties and fun of New Year's Eve. Let's keep climbing through the Douglas Fir into the mountain beach in Tussock. Let's do this. Here we are, we've got to the Ben Lomond Moonlight Track, which heads through the Douglas Fir, which is an American pine tree. It's not native to New Zealand, but who cares? We'll get above all this imported stuff, foreign people, foreign trees. Let's keep moving. Well, I made it to an outlying peak of Ben Lomond, not as high, but it's got a better vantage over Queenstown, the tourist hotspot of New Zealand. I'll be looking directly down on Queenstown City on New Year's Eve, far above the drunken revelry, New Year's Eve parties. I'll probably hear them singing Old Lang Syne. There'll be tens of thousands of young people and foreigners, tourists, Kiwis on holiday. And I'm glad not to be there, to be frank. I like my solitude up in the mountains, far from the madding crowds. I'm halfway through the gold now, so I better get moving before the light falls off the distant peaks. But I do have till about 9:30. If I was further south in New Zealand, the sun wouldn't set till about 10 o'clock. And of course, if I was further south than the South Pole, the sun would never set during summer. In fact, it feels like the South Pole up here. The wind's picking up, so I better get moving. Let's get out of here. Dusk was biting at my heels, so I quickly set up my DSLR to capture this grandstand view, starting from the Shotover River in the northeast, then panning along the Kawerau River to Frankton Arm and Peninsula Hill. This is what I'm seeing through the camera's viewfinder. The remarkable ranges presiding over Lake Whakatipu. I will shoot a range of images from east to west, which I will stitch together into a panoramic in Photoshop. Right, here's the final processed image. What we're looking at now is part of Queenstown, one of the suburbs with Lake Wakatipu behind it, and Cecil Peak and Walter Peak behind them, with just the last vestige of the setting sun lighting up the sky. At over 1,000 meters of altitude, I erected my tiny tent near a precipice. They say that if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room. As the wind died down, the sky began to clear. I painted the foreground with my head torch. My camera was set to bulb mode. The aperture was f8. ISO was cranked up to 400 and the long exposures took 3 minutes each. I was suspended between wilderness and the flesh pots of humanity, so near yet so far below. I retreated to my Starlight Hotel. Sleep came quickly. Well, that was an interesting night. I stayed up till about 2 o'clock in the morning shooting the stars. Anyway, hopefully we got some good solid landscape photos, maybe even a portfolio shot. But even if we didn't, any day out in the mountains is a good day. Hey, if you've enjoyed this wilderness camping series, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget your free ebook. It's time to get out of here. Why not check out my locations course? Click the yellow locations graphic. Or view the next episode where I explore the limestone landscape of Castle Hill and record a tutorial on composition.